I'm too old to be single. And this is a good theme for many people because a lot of people can relate because a lot of people find themselves single after a divorce, um, such as myself. I was a person when I was 21, really all through my childhood. I never wanted to be single. And so as soon as I could get married, I got married. So that means I was engaged at 20 and I was married at 21. That was about as fast as I could get that done. and uh, and you find yourself in a situation where some years later you may realize, oh, I'm married to a narcissist, like in my case, or this person is abusive, or we're just not compatible, or there's some issue. It could be avoidant, and so you're not able to connect with them emotionally. There could be any number of reasons why the relationship doesn't work out. And you find yourself having to break up, having to leave them, or they leave you. And they may do so in a very harsh way. They may ghost you. They may smear you on the way out. They may try to hurt your life or your other relationships. Um, but whatever the case, you will find yourself in a situation that you didn't prefer to be in, and that's being single. So ask yourself if you found yourself being single at a time that you didn't anticipate or prefer to be single. That's actually quite common. For whatever reason, the relationship didn't work out, and now you're 30 something, 40 something, 50 something, 60 something, 70 something, and for whatever reason, you find yourself without a mate. But this was never what you wanted. You were the type of person that always wanted to make sure you had someone and that you would be with someone and that you would be set. And so, if you find yourself in that situation, tonight's talk is directed at you. No matter who we are, we have to be able to differentiate the difference between what is circumstantial and what is actually mindset. And the reality of loneliness is that loneliness is not based on your circumstance. Loneliness is based on your mindset. Loneliness is a mindset. How so? Well, you can feel lonely even if you have people around. You can feel lonely even if you're in a relationship. Let that sink for a second. The key to not being lonely is not to make sure you're surrounded by people or to make sure you're in a relationship. That doesn't solve loneliness, it doesn't cure loneliness. Loneliness is a state of mind. It means that on some level, you fear being alone. You loathe the idea that you would not have someone, that there would not be people with you. That's loneliness. Or you are not happy with your current situation in life. That's loneliness. Because you could be in a situation where you're with a husband or with a wife and still be lonely. You can be in a situation where you're with your friends and still be lonely. Have you ever felt that way? You're with a group of people and you're just like, I don't relate to these people because loneliness is a state of mind. Okay. So when you realize that, that's actually good news because that means you can cure it and it doesn't require that you find someone to cure this feeling of loneliness. Okay. You can actually cure the feeling of loneliness by changing your mindset around it. And this is key to getting over this I'm too old to be single stigma that you've created for yourself. You've created a cycle of fear. Loneliness is a fear based mindset. I fear being how I am. I fear being alone. I fear being single. It's a fear based mindset. Some people say I fear being without my children. So their kids are about to move out of the house and they're going, oh no, my anxiety is going up. But for what? Nothing bad is happening. But they're in a fear based cycle. And what happens with this fear based cycle, this is key, it creates a sense of urgency that pushes you into relationships before you've truly vetted the person. Then, when you're in that relationship with a person you haven't truly vetted, what happens? Well, one, you feel lonely in the relationship because they're not the right one for you. And inevitably, it's not going to work out well. It's going to fall apart. They're going to turn out to be bad news or just not a right fit for you. And then they leave you or you have to leave them. And then you're back, what? Single. And then you say, well, because I'm alone, that means I'm lonely. Oh no, this is the worst thing. And if it's the worst thing in your mind, what happens? Fear. And that fear creates a sense of urgency. And that urgency sends you back into a relationship with someone you haven't vetted well. And being in a relationship with someone you haven't vetted well leaves you lonely or in another breakup. And then you go, oh no, this is the worst thing. I can't be alone. And then what happens? Do you see the cycle? When you fear being alone, it drives you into bad relationships. And who here can agree that sometimes a bad relationship is worse than just being single? Can you agree with that? Being in a bad relationship can actually be worse than just being single. So what we want to look at is some of our belief systems around our current status, around being alone. One, the fear of being alone. We got to conquer fear of being by ourselves. We don't need that. That's not useful for us. Listen, we're all humans. And if you check, the umbilical cord is no longer intact. That means that you are actually meant to be by yourself, autonomous. You are meant to be able to walk around without needing another human to feed off of, like you're some sort of parasite and you need a host. Wake up to that. You don't want to be a parasite. So let's get out of the mindset like we have to have another person. They got to be right there and they got to be with us. Where do they got to be with you? Everywhere. They need to be with me in the bed. They need to be with me when I'm up, when I wake up. They need to be with me in the bathroom. Hold on now. It's a little unhealthy, isn't it? It's called codependency. It's where we think that we have to have another person all the time through our whole lives at every second. Because when I say, well, when would you like to be alone? It's like, I don't ever want to be alone. I always want to have people. And it might sound extreme when I say like in the bed, in the bathroom, but think about it. You're you're feeling like it's Saturday, it's Friday, and you don't have anyone, and that bothers you, right? But you also want someone on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, right? But what's actually happening? It's a perception of the mind. And your perception of the mind is that you're supposed to have someone to be with on a Friday night, on a Saturday night. Every Friday and Saturday for the rest of your life, there's 52 of them a year. That's a lot of pressure that you're creating for yourself. 52 Saturdays a year, I have to be with people. I have to. Who came up with that rule? What? Why do you feel that way? And you're not alone. This is a very common, very, very common symptom that I run into with clients. It's Friday nights, Saturday nights, particular, it's a particular trigger, these particular nights, because in our culture, especially American culture, we've driven that, hey, you're supposed to be with friends, you're supposed to have plans, you're supposed to be with people. But then what happens when you go out and hang out with people? Well, then you start feeling like, I wish I was back home. I wish I was reading a book. I don't relate to these people. I don't get what's going on right now. I don't know if this is my scene. I don't know if this is my vibe. I feel awkward here. I'm not even having fun. And even if you do have a good time, you get home and then what do you say? Oh no, now I'm back home alone. Oh no, there's no one here. I can't believe this. I'm back home by myself. Why am I like this? Why do I have no one? What's wrong with me? Whoa, wait, did you forget that you just were out with friends? We forget really fast. Like you can have plans on Friday, but then when you don't have plans on Saturday, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have no one. This is terrible. I'm so left out. Do you get what I'm saying? This is perception of the mind. That's all it is. You can literally have friends and still feel lonely. You can literally have a husband. I asked one of my clients, why do you feel lonely exactly? She said, my husband doesn't get home till 9 p.m. So you have a husband. We had to repeat it a few times for her to get the contradiction in what she's saying. I'm so lonely because my husband doesn't come home till 9 p.m. And it was hard to see the connection till she said it enough times. It's like, you have a husband. He comes home every night at 9 p.m. Why are you lonely? He comes home every single night, right? But it's the perception. It's if you look at it like no one is here all day till 9 p.m., we can all relate to what she's saying. We're like, oh, that's too bad. But if you look at it like I have a guy who shows up every single night to be with me at 9 p.m., it's not lonely. It's almost overwhelming. It's like, geez, I don't have a lot of time. And that's what we had to get focused on. We had to get focused on purpose. It's like, well, do you have things that you need to get done? And she's like, yeah, I got a lot of things I need to get done. Actually, it's things I've been neglecting. Exactly. This is all a neglect of self because we're emphasizing and prioritizing other people so much in our codependency, we neglect us. So if we flip the mindset to, I only have a little bit of time for myself, then we start realizing and our mindset gets shifted to, I need to do this. I need to do A. I need to do B. I need to do C. I got a lot of stuff to do. Man, he's going to be home soon. I only got a few hours. You see how the mindset shifts when we switch the perception. Loneliness is a perception of the mind, that it's a problem that you're not with someone. When you flip it to, it's actually a good thing right now that no one's here, all of a sudden your mind shifts and you don't feel upset anymore. You feel like the sense of urgency is to hurry up and do as much as you can while you're in your current state. And that's the mindset that we actually need. Does that make sense to you? So you got to get focused on the benefits of being as you are right now. What are the benefits of being as you are right now? Are you in touch with those? If you have a pen, paper, jot down some ideas right now. What are some of the benefits of being alone, whether it's just from now till 9 p.m. or whether it's going to be for a few years because you don't have any spouse or any prospects in mind, or your kids have moved out of the house? What's some of the benefits? That's the question to ask. Have you ever come in the house and been happy that no one was there when you have like a family, if you live with a family? Ever come home and been like, oh, no one's home? Yes. And why would you be happy? Well, it's because one, you get access to resources like the bathroom, the refrigerator, the television, right? And so you get to do things your own way and kind of relax. You might be like, good, I can walk around with, without my whatever on, I don't have to feel like I got to cover myself up. I can relax, right? This is the mindset you want to be in toward your current state if you happen to be single. Think about the benefits of coming home and realizing there's no one there who you have to look cute for or do something for or be there for, right? Where you have to be their emotional go-to person and worry about how they're feeling, where you have to tiptoe and eggshell around what you can say and do in the house and how you have to put everything. If you want to leave the peanut butter and jelly open on the counter, you can leave it. Or if you don't like stuff left open on the counter, you don't have to let anything be open on the counter. Nobody messing up your kitchen after you clean it. There's benefits, but you have to be able to focus on the benefits. What benefits can you come up with? Yeah, you get to cook and clean when you want. Yeah, there's silence when you need the silence, right? Single people can travel on a whim. Single people do better in their friendships because they can actually show up and be there and go out with their friends and talk and text, right? As soon as your buddy gets married, hey, what happened to Jim? I don't know. I haven't heard from Jim in weeks. Oh yeah, you got married, did it? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That'll happen. Yeah, you disappear out of the friend group when you're in a relationship. You're available. That's one of the benefits of being single is you're actually available right now to meet the person of your dreams. You realize when you were in a relationship, you're not available. The guy or gal of your dreams could have been walking past you in the mall. They could have saw you, but they would see you with this other person that you hated or that wasn't good for you or that was just wasting your time and stringing you along. You're busy. You're taken. You're not available when you're in a relationship. Only now could it possibly be possible for you to meet someone that's the right person for you because you both have to be single for this to work out. Somehow we want to be able to just be in a relationship and then meet someone within 3 hours of that relationship breaking up. How? That's cheating. You were already in a relationship with the other person. You can't have someone the next day. How do you have someone the next day? It's impossible. You have to have a period of being single in order to have a meet cute with the person of your dreams. You have to be single in order to meet the person of your dreams. Does that make sense? How about the fact that if you're single, you get more time and space to think? You can finally work on your goals. It's better to work on your goals in private than it is to have someone who you feel is judging you, who's depending on you meeting those goals, or who's investing and losing money and losing time as you're trying to meet these goals. It's better to just be able to privately work on your goals where nobody sees your little mini failures. There's going to be failures along the way. It was nice to not have someone else watching you fail and have to jump from project to project. It's better. It's better. You get the whole bed to yourself if you're single. It's peaceful and quiet when you sleep. There's no snoring or anybody taking your sheets or anything like that. You can avoid settling when you're single. You got time to vet out all the best options. Hey, this is just facts. Single people are statistically healthier. Single people are better at keeping friends. Single people tend to be better employees. They tend to be better business owners. That's just basic facts about being single, but you have to be in the right mindset. But what happens to us with our loneliness epidemic mindset is we go, oh, but everyone else is in a relationship but me. I feel like everyone else has someone, and I'm the only human on earth who doesn't have anyone. Is that actually true though, or is that a perception of the mind? We fool ourselves into believing, especially on Friday and Saturday night for some reason, everybody's got someone every Friday, Saturday night. I don't know. They must have been busy Wednesday and Thursday linking up, and now they're ready. And now you're the only person who doesn't have someone. But that's not true. 2023 study found that 51% of U.S. women 18 to 40 are single. 51%. So more than half of women under the age of 40 are actually single. So if you're single, you're actually in the majority. 25% of 40-year-olds in the US have never been married. You're not alone. You're telling yourself, "Oh, I'm 35 and I've never been married." That's like normal. that's that's normal. 1 in 3, 1 in 4 would be like in the same group as you. Half of people are single. That's just a simple fact. Half of people are single. There's nothing weird or odd about that. What about if you're older? Nearly 40% of adults 65 and older are single. 40%, 65 and older are single. Stop it. Stop what you're doing to yourself with this fake news. You keep telling yourself, I'm the only one. You're not the only one. This is normal. It's also good news to know you're not the only one because there's better chances you can meet someone. Not to mention, if 50% of marriages break up, then there's new 30s and 40s and 50-year-olds ending up back out in the dating sphere every day because half these marriages are breaking up. But outside of marriage, 90% of relationships are breaking up. There's new people becoming newly available every day. Like yesterday, there wasn't anyone there. Yesterday, the people that weren't available are available today. It's constantly changing. It's constantly changing. So maybe should we wait and heal first before we start getting into another relationship? No, heal faster, prioritize that. But in the meantime, a part of your healing process is to be vetting because you need to set up standards. You need to write down your standards on on a piece of paper. You need to have boundaries. That's a part of healing. When you say, I'm done with dating, I'm done, I'm not going to talk to anybody, I don't need a man, I don't need anybody, I don't know, I'm done. You're just setting yourself up to end up in another toxic relationship. That's all you're doing. Like, I'm going to be avoidant until I can't handle being avoidant anymore, and then I'm going to rubber band back, or some predator is going to find me off alone in the wild. It doesn't work. So what you need to do instead of saying no, 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 because you're scared, is take a pen, take a piece of paper, and write down a list of standards. That's what's going to keep you safe. A list of standards. And here's the good news, you can make those standards pretty high. I'm not telling you you have to make them reasonable. Make them high standards. Okay? He's got to be this tall, he's got to be family oriented, he's got to be this way, that way, this way, right? And I have multiple videos that talk about how you can create these standards. Now, everyone that you come in contact with, you vet according to these standards. So your new mindset is, I'm open to connection. Go ahead, you say that. Say it out loud. I'm open to connection. I'm open to connection. Well, how am I going to stay safe if I'm open to connections? Can't people hurt me and lie to me and cheat on me again? Yeah, they can. But you keep yourself safe by having standards and setting boundaries and asserting and enforcing those boundaries. That's all. That's what relationships are really about. You have to set up yourself, which is your boundaries, and then you have to assert those boundaries. You have to enforce those boundaries. That's all. So yeah, people are going to disappoint you. They're going to let you down. But then depending on the situation, you just enforce the boundaries. Does that make sense? You don't just stay away from all people. That's not smart because relationships are exchanges of goods and resources. And if you are not out exchanging goods and resources, you're missing out on. Now, who knows if you there might be a really great potential mate out there and you're too busy hiding because you're afraid of what happened to you last time. The last relationship doesn't tell you anything about the next relationship. It's so silly to deny ourselves happiness because our last relationship didn't go well. Show me the logic in that. My last meal wasn't good, so I'm not eating anymore. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I didn't like my last job, so I'm done with working. Not a good strategy. None of this is a good strategy. And that's what you're doing with relationships. I had a really bad experience in my last relationship, so I'm done with relationships. Every person is unique and different. You realize that? I understand you had a bad go, but everybody's different. I had a bad go too. I had a terrible go. I wouldn't wish anybody meet this person. But does that mean now everyone is terrible and I'm afraid and I can't meet anyone? No, that's silly. There's different people out there. There's billions of people and they're all different. All men are not a monolith. All women are not a monolith. They're not just one type of person. So you need to continue to meet people. I'm not saying go on a bunch of dates. Don't do that for God's sake. That's a waste of time. I'm saying make a bunch of connections, friendships. This means that you would be texting people. It doesn't matter whether you met them on social media, dating apps, or in person. And while you're texting, you can vet them that way. From the comfort of your home while you're in your pajamas eating peanut butter off of a spoon. Take it easy on yourself. And when you do go out, you go out in groups. Keep it casual. It's just social. You don't need to go on one dates. It's a waste of your time. Why not go out with a bunch of people? And then there could be three or four guys there that you're checking out. That's more efficient. You don't need to like, oh, okay, I'm going to go on this one date with this one person. No, stop with the dating. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Don't date, vet. Just observe people into your different social circles. Get involved in social circles. Get out there. You need to be at your religious meetings. You need to be at your book clubs. You need to be at your sewing, knitting, your Pilates, exercise, gym, the sports. You need to be out there doing all that stuff, meeting tons of people because you're open for connection. Go ahead and say that out loud. I'm open for connection. It's fine. It's not going to hurt me to be connected. It doesn't matter if you're ready for another relationship. Don't worry about that. Just have your standards. Your standards protect you. Your standards protect you. And you know what happens when you adopt these more healthy mindsets? What if you actually did what I said, what I'm saying to do, and you actually were open for connection, and you actually went out there, and you actually went in groups and texted, got a bunch of numbers and texted people? What would actually happen? Well, you wouldn't be alone anymore because you'd have so many groups and social plans and friends and invitations. Over time, that this idea of just I have no one, that would disappear into the ether. So get out there and make connections. But remember that loneliness doesn't depend on having people. Loneliness is a product of your perception. It's a product of your perception. So we have to change our perception. If you are a single person, here's an exercise that we can do. If you're a single person, here's an exercise that we can do. Take yourself out on a date. You can do it this weekend, for instance, or sometime this week. And you're going to go out to do something you would do with another person. They kind of feel like you need another person there, like going to dinner, going to a movie, going to a show, something like that. But I want you to just take yourself. Okay. So this is a single person date. So now you're doing the thing that you felt like you couldn't do or that you were afraid to do. You're going to take yourself out on a date by yourself. Now, why are we doing this? Because we have to change our mental perception around our current state. Our original mental perception was that it was going to be awful, it was going to be terrible, and we need to do everything to avoid being alone. But that's actually not true. We have a huge, vibrant community, and that's the greater tribe. So you can go out and explore the greater tribe without having another mini tribe inside of your house that takes you out and allows you to go. Like you have to have a chaperone with you at all times. You realize that you're free. And when we put ourselves in a mental prison of, I don't want to show up to a restaurant by myself, everyone's going to judge me. I don't want, we're making it harder for ourselves to enjoy our current state. So your assignment is to take yourself out on a date by yourself. And before you go, you're gonna measure on a scale of 0 to 10 how fun you think it's gonna be. How good of an experience is going to be. 0, terrible experience. 10 equals, I think it's going to be an amazing experience. And you rate ahead of time what you think it's going to be. 'Cause some of us are skeptical, right? Some of us are like, if I go on a date by myself, it's going to be terrible, right? So go ahead and rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, what you think it's going to be. And then go out on the date. When you're done, come home, settle back in, and then rate on a scale of 0 to 10 how fun it actually was, and bring back your results next week, so you can let us know uh, on a scale of 0 to 10 how bad really was it. Let's get some real data. Let's get some real world data and figure out how bad it truly is to go on a date by yourself on purpose? Is it really the worst? Is it the most humiliating, the most embarrassing? Is it the lowest of low? Or could it be that when we do something alone, we're able to avoid some of the problems and issues that come along with having to coordinate it with someone else? Because when you're with other people, you do have to kind of deal with their attitudes and their issues and do things around them. You're kind of worried about their feelings. Sometimes it's kind of nice to be able to do things for ourselves. Okay? So, what we've talked about so far is being open to connection and vetting, which is going to allow you to solve the problem quickly of not having enough friends or not having dating prospects because you're going to get out there, you get involved in stuff, and you're going to have more options than you really need. But let's take this moment now and pursue purpose, focus on our goals, and utilize this opportunity now. Because if that dream person showed up and you had to woo them right at this moment, the perfect man was in front of you, or the perfect woman was in front of you, would you be ready right now? Would you feel like you had that body that you want to have? Would you feel like your finances are together where you want them to be? Would you feel like your house is together, your car is together, your goals are where you need them to be for you to start sacrificing for a family or for you to be the breadwinner? Would you feel like you are ready right now? And I bet you the answer is no. So some of us who were the same person who said we need to have someone right now, we can't be alone, are not even really ready right now. So let's focus on our goals and let's get ourselves in the best possible position for when that day comes